This week's video is sponsored by Rhett. As you can see, both Rhett and I are still clinging to our Rhett work boots when we probably should be wearing our insulated winter snow boots, but we both prefer our Rhett boots over just about anything else. The main goals for this week was to get all of the electrical finished in the shop, get the new second-gen Dodge Cummins picked up, and get prepared to have a good time on New Year's Eve. Cedar made it clear that I needed to slow down long enough to have a good time on New Year's Eve, and I knew that having a ping pong table around would make it just a little bit better. As Rhett and I began putting the ping pong table together, I got a text from the owner of the second-gen Dodge Cummins telling me that he was a couple of hours away from where we were going to meet, and so I needed to get ready to leave. After driving up there and looking the truck over, it was obvious that this would be a great project to do with Rhett, and a much more dependable and reliable truck than the two trucks that we currently have. In the middle of everything else that we had going on, I had 2 cords of hardwood firewood delivered as well. As much wood as I'm burning out in the shop, I didn't even want to come close to using up the wood that we were using in the house. So I bought 2 cords of box elder firewood that I will use out in the shop to keep the shop warm while we're working on some of these projects. So the new truck is a 1994 Dodge Cummins dually 4x4, but the front drive shaft is missing. So it's currently a 2-wheel drive dually with bald tires. So obviously it's not making it up our driveway. But even my truck pulling the trailer wasn't going to get up the driveway, so I had to get the plow truck out with the chains on the tires to get everything pulled up the driveway so we could then look the truck over a little bit closer and just get a handle on what we have to work with. The irony is, when I was Rhett's age, this truck was brand new. When this truck was brand new in 1994, I was a junior in high school. When I was Rhett's age, me and my dad, my older brother, had to share the 1980 F100 truck that my grandfather bought brand new, and as he got older, it became too hard for him to drive. Some of the first dates I took my wife on were in that truck. The tires are so bad on this thing, just going down our driveway, it's probably gonna turn into a big giant sled. Rhett and Alex are following behind us in my truck to make sure it doesn't run out of diesel. I need to wash all the salt off it. It was on a trailer coming from North Dakota, so it's covered in salt. I can barely see out the windows. But step one is gonna be getting down our driveway. Yes. What do you think about giving it to your brother?
I think that's a really good idea because he deserves it.
If I give this to him, that means the other trucks have to go away, which we just got to get rid of some cars. I got to limit, the project list is getting a little too deep.
Fast and Furious, bro.
Let's go, I want to go wash the windows on this thing, so I probably should do this.
Probably not, but you know, it works. It's not that important.
I can't think of any other good options. What to do with it, Cheyenne?
Give it to me so I have something more reliable.
What are you willing to do for this truck, Rhett?
Get a C, math grade. I don't know.
I don't know if you can handle this truck, frankly. So you have to take the initiative to talk to the teacher and get that figured out. If I'm going to give you this truck, you got to meet me in the middle of this stuff. So the title stays in my name on this truck, and either you get to drive it for the next year and a half, figure out how to get passing grades all the way through your senior year, you graduate, you get the rest of this year figured out, and then I'll give you the title to the truck. I'm not going to get after you anymore about it.
Okay.
If you feel like that's too much pressure for you, then we'll figure something else out. I have no problem with the fact that school, you feel the same way about school that I did. Okay, I hated school. I barely graduated, but I graduated. Okay, so high school is not going to dictate the success you're going to have in life, but it does require application. It requires that you apply yourself, and that's all that I want. I just want you to apply yourself, and then if you need help with that one class, you have to, before I get an email from, or notice from a teacher that you need to be talking to me or mom before it gets to that point. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Let's go look for a funnel.
1, 2, 3, go. Happy birthday, Sophia! I got right up there! Oh my goodness! It's too cool!
Oh, there we go.
The blue one's not going!
Trying to
Why
get
is it so far?
trying to get the
Lower. That's why I'm not going! It's gonna hit the house. And pop. Woo! Oh, it's going! It's coming down.
Oh.
The blue one's going down. Yeah.
Today would be our dear friend Sophia's 18th birthday. Sophia passed away some time back, and Cedar thought this would be a great way to celebrate her 18th birthday. By writing a few short notes on some balloons and letting those balloons free. Where I parked a trailer right here next to the shop is going to be a challenge throughout the rest of winter. As the snow melts and slides off the roof, it all accumulates right here against the shop where I currently park the car hauler. And I could very easily grab a piece of heavy equipment and clean this up much faster, but having Rhett help me clean all this up is a great way to burn off some excess energy that at his age he always seems to have. So we worked hard together, breaking up the snow and the ice, and as we were nearly finished, his buddy Alex showed up to help out. We then, as a family, with the help of a couple of friends, stacked all the box elder firewood. Rhett does not currently have a job. When he needs money, he gets that money by working for Cedar and I around the house. He and a couple of buddies decided they wanted to go down and go snowboarding at the local ski resort that's only about 45 minutes away. So this is how he earned the money to pay for his lift pass. Easy, bro. Oh, my paddle. Read these points.
One. You're at two.
Easy, bro.
Oh, yes!
And three.
Hit three. 10-5.
10-5.
You said
Right
you
there.
were
Down
gonna
this
hit.
side. This side.
You said you would have hit it that hard.
Bro, I do what I gotta do to win.
Hey, that's not fair. I get a point.
10-6.
Oh, sorry.
Read serve. Game point. Oh! You gotta win. Okay, you guys can keep playing. I gotta work on the electrical. Later on tonight, if I get all the electrical done, you guys can play.
Electrical?
I'm gonna get all the lights ready for inspection. I managed to get a good portion of the electrical done, but there's still a little bit more to do. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing everything that I possibly can to make the shop as user-friendly as possible. I find myself thinking about where to put lights on the outside of the shop. so that once we get hanging the drywall, I don't have to go back and open the drywall up to make changes. Okay, this side is done. Back of the shop is done. The front of the shop is mostly done. I need to wire up a switch to control a light on the back of the shop. This is pointing out where we currently have the goats and the chickens, but Cedars has expressed the interest in having a different setup come summertime. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that switch, but I gotta do something. I'll probably just run power and just rough the power in and leave it there. I need to finish that wall. All of the outlets are in place. I just gotta pull the wire. Then I gotta pull the wire, the three-way switches, which I hate, to the front door. So when we come through that front door, we can control the lights inside the shop. And then that's it. Then I'm ready for inspection. I can't think of anything else I need to do. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, Happy New Year. 2020 is over. Welcome to 2021. First fireside chat of 2021. We had a good New Year's. A little fireworks celebration.
Stayed up a little late, a couple nights.
And it topped it off with a little Martinelli's.
Most disgusting soda ever.
I don't even think it's soda. It's like sparkling juice.
It's what people that don't drink on New Year's, I guess.
Yep, there we go. With our kids.
One time of the year I drink it.
Yeah. Okay, so you ready for the question?
Give her.
The question of the day, the question of the week. Do we or do we not fully reside at Red Poppy Ranch full time? Or do we have a house in town that we go to at the end of the day?
So that would insinuate that this is all a stage or a set.
Yep.
Well, that's a bit offensive. A question like that's a bit offensive, and I hate even acknowledging questions like that. But I guess it's been asked by somebody. Even if tomorrow, if we woke up and all of a sudden financially we've got millions and millions of dollars in the bank, we're not running to town. All that money would do is facilitate more projects around here.
Or maybe you could hire some help and it would get done faster.
Yeah. I'd probably have me a giant car lot somewhere to park a bunch of broke down cars. But
Wait, we already have that.
not enough room though. Yeah, so
Okay, so we're not going anywhere. This is our home. We've spent, what is it, blood, sweat, and tears?
Yeah, in the early days, we lived in town. In the first couple of years, we had to rent a house in town because there was nothing to live in. We considered at one time trying to put a fifth wheel up here.
Before the house was even built.
Yeah, and living in that. And it just, I knew it was going to be hard enough living up here, and I didn't want to force it any faster. But the second that house was remotely close to livable, we were ready to move in. Cedar was ready to move in.
It was really difficult having you drive back and forth, and I couldn't be here to help you all the time. And we are a bit ways out of town, so it wasn't like I could just run over and help you really quick and then run home.
Yeah. We rented two separate houses. Neither one of those houses were ours. So to continue to pretend that those houses were ours, when we knew it was up here, we both just wanted to be up here. And that's, again, why when we moved in, we had to use the camp trailer and the house for a time until we finally got the bathrooms finished and we got all the inspections passed, and then we moved in, but we still had, the downstairs was basically a shell. We had to finish all of the downstairs.
And we still have a lot to finish.
Yeah.
We still have a lot to finish upstairs too.
Yeah, but again, the ambition was never to be successful YouTubers. And had the idea, whether it was our kids' idea, which in the early days I think it was just about making videos for family back home. I really still don't remember why we even started doing it. If I had the foresight of where this was going, I would have bought better equipment early. I would have bought better cameras. I would have learned how to edit better. That's my only regret along the way, is those first 2 years. I didn't shoot enough. I didn't film enough. It does not convey the effort that those first couple of years took. I didn't set the cameras up enough. I just didn't understand, and I didn't think it was going to ever amount to a whole lot. And it takes time. It probably doubles the time of everything that I do to drag a camera around, not counting editing, all that stuff.
Changing batteries.
Yeah, just the whole thing. And
positions.
at that time we were trying to, we couldn't afford to spend a ton of money on cameras. And so, every penny we had was going into the house. And so, yeah, I regret that. I regret those first couple of years, while we were not living up here, putting, I just wish we had a better account of what was really going on. But the second we were able to get into that house, we've never left the house.
And this was always our dream from when we first started dating.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, we wanted a house with land and animals and to be self-sufficient.
Elbow room, yeah.
Yeah, and here we are, and we're not going anywhere. This is home.
Yeah, and to think that somebody would do that just for a set to shoot a video, or to think, like occasionally we'll have people message us asking how to build a YouTube channel. And my response is, I'm not the guy. I don't know how to answer that. I barely know how to maintain what we have. And so, all that I know how to do is to show what we are actively doing, the challenges that we actively have. Some weeks are great. This week was a bit of a hot mess because we had celebrations going on in New Year's. We had family over to celebrate that with. In the middle of this, I have to run and pick up a truck out in the middle of nowhere while we've got other projects going on. A lot of this is flying by the seat of our pants, but we don't schedule what we're going to film for that week. Matter of fact, I wish I could do. When I'm doing well, I have the whiteboard filled out that says, these are the projects you have to get done. But these are not projects that have to get done for YouTube. These are projects we have to get done for our life, for our family.
To keep your wife happy.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a process of literally pulling the phone out or pulling the cameras out and filming what just happens to be going on in our lives in those moments. And so to think that I'm smart enough to go, I have an idea. Let's move our family 800 miles away from everybody we know and love and buy the most gosh awful piece of property that we can turn into the thing we've always wanted. And I'll slowly kill myself in the process, all for YouTube. Goodness, that might be one of the most offensive questions somebody's ever asked me. Anyway, and then the other question is,
Okay, so do you or do you not have a plumbing license?
do we?
Yeah. Do we currently own a plumbing company in town, and are you still a plumber right now?
Yeah, I'll always be a plumber. That's just who I am.
But to get paid, to go out and get paid and run a business, no, we don't do that.
I haven't made money as a plumber in 9 years. A few years ago when I was really, really sick and I just didn't know how we were going to be able to continue to pay bills and continue to do things up here, we went through the beginning phases of getting my contractor's license turned back on, transferred to Idaho, and I basically had to retest. They don't honor the
Arizona laws are different than Idaho.
And during that process, we applied for a business license in town. And the business license was a plumbing company. It was the plumbing company that we settled on, the name of the company that we settled on. And somewhere during that time, I don't think my health really improved. I think we just realized that let's just keep going. Let's just keep fighting the good fight and see what happens. I'm not embarrassed to be a plumber. If YouTube disappeared and tomorrow I have to make a living, that's what I know and love. We would go back to that. It would be hard to run it from up here. I would probably have to get an office in town or something like that. But we consider that
internet and phone calls and stuff like that. And you running back and forth for parts or whatever. But
when the kind of plumbing we did was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so, we haven't, I don't know, turned that license off, I guess, either. So.
And we had to get the license before you could even
that was step
test.
one. Before
we couldn't even test without having a business.
Yeah.
And so that's why we did that.
So those are those questions. Hopefully this coming Wednesday we'll have some less offensive questions for me, maybe. But
we love answering questions. We love getting on a personal level, and
yeah, there's not too much we're not willing to talk about. But I guess a question like that strikes a chord with me because of the effort. There was so much effort we put into making this place safe and secure and warm and comfortable and all of these things. It's just like to think that you would do that for YouTube and nothing else. That wasn't our thing. So anyway.
Okay, thank you.
See you on Wednesday.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.